Good evening. My name is Tommy Conlon. I am the current president of the Monocacy Lions Club. I'm joined by our first vice president, Heidi Brunholz, and her husband, Roger. He is the secretary of our club. I'd like to thank the Poolsville seniors for allowing us this opportunity to speak about the Monocacy Lions Club and Lions Club International. Currently, the Monocacy Lions Club has 47 members. We are an inclusive organization with members from a variety of backgrounds. We currently have over 20% of our members are female, women. In fact, in our last 5 new members, 4 of them have been women. I'd like to say that if anyone listening tonight has an interest in serving your community, we would love to have a conversation with you. The Monocacy Lions Club is part of Lions Club International. There are 48,000 clubs just like ours throughout the world, in 200 countries. We currently have over 1.4 million members worldwide. The Lions Club International, I'll start with the international part of it, had its beginning in Chicago in 1917. Our founder, Melvin Jones, was a Chicago insurance man and a member of what was called the Business Circle of Chicago. He saw a need for the business circle to expand past its focus on the business community and go out into the community and looking to improve the welfare of the people that were in town, in the big towns and the cities. At this time, the country was entering into World War I and was struggling with that and the effects of the coming of the industrial age. There was a large segment of the population that lived in substandard housing and that was in great need. Mr. Jones ended up writing to business groups that were like the business circle all around the country and expressed his desire to form a group that took need of the people that were all around the country. He, in writing to all these different organizations, some of them wrote back, and he set up an international convention, a national convention in Dallas in 1917. One of the clubs that responded was called the International Association of Lions Clubs. The convention was held in the summer of 1917, the result of which was the formation of the Lions Club International. They wrote a constitution, a set of bylaws, and adopted a code of ethics. And the code of ethics is, we still adhere to those today. The Lions logo was created. Our motto was adopted, we serve, and that's what we live every day. In 1920, the Lions Club truly became international with expansion into Canada. We are truly an international organization. As I said, we're in 200 countries. Our leadership of the Lions Club International represents that. Our current president is Douglas Alexander. He is from Brooklyn, New York. He's an African-American gentleman. He was preceded by Dr. Young Yul Choi, who is a businessman from Korea. Dr. Choi was preceded by, and I'm going to try my best to get this name, Gudrun Youngervoter. She is a biomedical scientist from Iceland. She was preceded by Dr. Naresh Agrawal from Punjab, India. So as you can see, we have a large presence of international people. Our local Monocacy Club was formed in 1940. 24 men saw the need in our community and formed the club. Our sponsoring club was the Bethesda Chevy Chase Lions Club. At that time, the western area of Montgomery County was very sparsely populated. It encompassed the towns of Dickerson, Barnesville, Bellsville, Boyds, Dawsonsville, and Poolsville. At that time, the main occupation of all the people that lived in the community, in the area, was farming. Yes, there were some doctors and lawyers and merchants that lived in the area, and they had businesses in Poolsville and Darnestown and the local areas. Located throughout the area were several schools, including Poolsville, which was at that time was kindergarten through 12. There was a school in Dickerson, and I think one in Boyds, along with numerous churches and commercial establishments that were located in the towns. The area has changed greatly since that time. While farming is still a large part of our area, we have become more of a bedroom community to the down county. Poolsville, as we know it, has experienced the biggest area growth from about 100 homes at that time to the town as it is now. Back in 1940, you probably could have gone down to the intersection of 107 and 109 and walked around, wasn't any traffic, but you could have seen Poolsville from end to end, standing in the middle of the street. The 24 men that formed the Monocacy Lions Club a lot of them were in their mid-20s. So the club was formed in 1940, and in 1941.
Hi everyone, sorry, hang in there with me for just a second.
Sure.
I couldn't see the chat to switch slides while I was screen sharing, so just give me 1 second to get it all worked out.
And this is why we have Dottie on board. She usually makes sure that everything is so she can control letting people in and out and give the introduction. So she'll let me know when that is okay, and then we'll continue. So sorry about that.
It's okay. I'm also happy to share my screen if it's easier for her to manage everything else. So just let me know.
That might work a little bit better. It blocked out my monitor for some reason, so it wouldn't let me monitor both and see the chat as well as see the PowerPoint.
Okay, let me see. Hold on. Then if I can, let's see if this works. Take a deep breath, Tom. See what you can do. You'll have to, you've disabled the screen sharing.
Yes, one moment.
So far, what you have said, Tom, is very interesting. I did not know that it was so diverse with people internationally and who have been head or president.
Yeah, it is a very diverse organization, and it's all inclusive.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
Unfortunately, when the Lions Club was formed back in 1917, it was an all men's group.
But it changed quickly, right?
Not so quickly. It was probably about 40 years ago that it finally changed, and they changed the Constitution to allow women. But we have, like I said, 20% of our local club is women. women make up a large portion of the leadership in the Lions Club, not only in our club, but also in the international club. So it's something that I'm really glad to have seen. It was overdue. The 1980s was probably way later than it should have been. But anyway.
Dottie, how are we?
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we should be good to go.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Where do you want me to go back to? Anywhere I need to go back or what?
We're on slide 3, a little bit more of the history of Monocacy.
Okay.
So I bet you no one knows that the Barnesville Town Hall used to be called the Lions Den.
I'm going to get to that. Well, anyway, back in World War II, when our club was formed in 1940, December of 1940, December of 1941, brought a significant change to the country with the entry into World War II. Many of the younger men that were founding members of the Monocacy Lions Club ended up serving the military and were away from home for many years. Gasoline was severely rationed, and it really made an impact on what the club at that time could do. But the club, by a lot of hard work of the people that were here, survived. The early meetings of the Monocacy Cemetery were held in homes.
Monocacy Lions Club.
That's line. You're mixing up your community service, Tom.
You mentioned cemetery.
I'm sorry, Monocacy Lions Club. For those of you who don't know, I am also, Heidi and I are both on the Monocacy Cemetery board, and sometimes I get a little cross-wired there. Sorry about that. The Monocacy Lions Club met in the homes of local members for many years. In 1945, the building that is now the Barnesville Town Hall was purchased by the club and became known as the Lions Den. The Lions Den served the club until 1953, when it was sold by the club for the princely sum of $3,100. We'll get into later the association between the Lions Club and the Upper Montgomery County Volunteer Fire Department, but suffice to say that when the Lions Den was sold for $3,100, the Lions Club gave $2,100 to the fire department. The club meetings were then held in the fire department until the late 1960s. After that, we met at the Comus Inn or the Meadowlark Inn. Currently, we're holding our meetings at St. Mary's Pavilion or St. Peter's Episcopal Church. We meet twice a month in non-COVID times. Unfortunately, we've had to adjust our meetings because of COVID, and we went virtual for quite a while. Then we went back to in person for part of last year. The last 2 months, we have been back to virtual. Hopefully, fingers crossed, in March, we are scheduled to go back to in-person at St. Mary's. A little bit about the members of Lions Club. I am a 3rd generation Lion. My grandfather was a Monocacy Lion for about 25 years. My father was a member of the Bethesda Chevy Chase Lions that sponsored Monocacy Lions. He also served as president there. Among the original 24 members was my future father-in-law, Charles Elgin, and his brother, Jack Elgin. Another founding member was my father-in-law's very close friend, Charles H. Jameson. 2 of his sons, Billy and Frank, are now members. Notably, Ed Brown, who owned White's Ferry, joined the Lions Club in 1942. At his passing in 2020, he was the longest serving active member in the world with 78 years. His son Herbert now continues on the family tradition with 47 years of service. When we have our meetings, we start with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by an invocation, and then we do the Lions Toast. And the Lions Toast goes, not above you, not beneath you, but with you. This toast exemplifies one of the basic tenets of Lionism, that we serve all people. That is basically the history of where we started and where we have come to. Heidi, you want to step in there?
It's Roger's turn
Roger's turn. I'm sorry.
at this point to carry the baton.
Okay. I'm Roger Brunholz. I'm currently the secretary of the Monocacy Lions Club. I've served as the president and also as the zone chair. And we're, I don't know if I might have missed it, but we're members of 22C. Now, 22C is our district, and that district extends basically from almost the Frederick County line all the way down to Point Lookout and east to the bay. So when we get together with other Lions clubs and do projects together or have meetings, you get to meet people from almost all over the state. And there's we have other larger meetings that we sometimes attend. This year, there'll be a state meeting up in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. They always seem to sneak in a golf tournament there. So
I have a question. What is the zone? Tookie wants to know what is a zone chair?
well, the zone chair is the person that kind of coordinates activities and amongst clubs that are in a cluster. Like within our zone right now, there's the Damascus Club. There's a club down in they're not Gaithersburg anymore.
Laytonsville?
Well, we have Laytonsville and Rockville. And so when you're a zone chair, you kind of help coordinate activities between, encourage different participation in activities in your kind of immediate area. But that's thank you for the question, Tookie. So our early service projects, we were instrumental in helping out the Upper Montgomery County Fire Department. We helped them as a financial contributor and helped get the fire department established in Bellsville, Maryland. Our other early service projects included youth activities, the Scouts, Cub Scouts, Little League teams, and school activities. And we still do these things. We sponsor blood drives. We had a blood drive about a month ago at the Baptist Church, and we've got another one coming up in March. And that's in conjunction with the American Red Cross. We get about 30 to 40 units of blood each time. And this is a project you can feel good about because you're knowing that this goes to help people immediately, like recently with the Kentucky hurricane or tornadoes that ripped through there. We provide financial support for needy families. A lot of that goes through WUMCO, and we provide free eye exams and glasses. Now, we support that financially. We give vouchers for people to get eye exams, and we have a program with Walmart where people can turn the vouchers in and get glasses. But we also have our own eye exam, mobile eye exam unit. And we do go to schools. We go to preschools, nursery schools, elementary schools, and we do eye exams, eye and sometimes hearing. At the county fair, we have our mobile eye exam unit set up there. It's not too far from the ice cream booth, which I'll talk more about that in a minute. Can we see the next slide, please?
That's me.
That's you. Okay. So we do a lot of work with vision and hearing impairment. As I said, we provide screenings and eye exams, and also we collect eyeglasses. You can, if you have eyeglasses that you're no longer using, right in the center of town, close to next to the FedEx box and the UPS box by the library, there's a Lions Club box. You can drop eyeglasses in there. We also have smaller boxes set up at different post office throughout the area, Barnesville and Comus, and people put eyeglasses in there. This year, we've collected more than 700 pairs of eyeglasses. So I'd like to thank the community for that. That's been mostly folks in our area that have helped us with this project. And these eyeglasses will go all over the world. And in previous years, after they get calibrated and they get cleaned and sometimes repaired, and that's when they get sent off. This year, there's been quite a domestic need here at home in America. And so a lot of the eyeglasses are going to places in Appalachia and places where people are in great need in this country. And we feel pretty good about this project. We also collect hearing aids, and the hearing aids get restored, and those too are put into use for folks in need. One of our projects is the leader dog for the blind. And these dogs are, they're raised and fostered in the homes of oftentimes members, Lions members that are involved in the leader dog program. And these dogs are trained as working dogs to help blind folks. And then they start out, I think it's up in Michigan. That's where a lot of these dogs are born and raised, and they're kind of disseminated throughout the country. In our immediate area, in our district, we have a woman who's been continuously, her name's Lois Barb, and she's been continuously raising these leader dogs. And sometimes you go to a meeting and she'll come and speak and she'll bring the dog. They bring them out to help get them socialized. And it's a fantastic program.
One thing that surprises a lot of people when she comes and speaks to us about the responsibilities of fostering the dog, and then the dog goes into training, I think at age 2, is that it costs something like $45,000 to care for and train one dog to reach its goal to be placed with a vision impaired person. So, we take a lot of pride and work hard to contribute to the leader dog for the blind, because there's such a great need, and it is such an expensive thing to commit to training these dogs. And then, as we all know, not every dog that's trained works out. So the dogs are carefully selected and then placed in a home if they don't work out for the vision impaired person. But it's a big commitment and something that our club is very proud to be connected to.
Okay, next slide. Okay, so we are, a lot of our projects have to do with youth advocacy, and we provide scholarships yearly at Poolsville High School. This year, every year we give out 2 scholarships, but we've raised the total of these scholarships to $2,500 each. We have a process where students can apply, and we have a committee that reviews the scholarship application. And every year we choose 2 students from the Poolsville High School. And we've been doing this for quite some time. Some of the students live in our area. Some of them are in the magnet program. I don't know people that know the DefNets. Amy DefNet won the scholarship one year. Kevin Carmack's son. Kevin was a coach. His son Kirby, who's now an engineer, he won the scholarship. And every once in a while, you get to hear back from these kids as they move on in their studies or in their scholarship. Recently, we had an application for an additional scholarship that the board was able to approve because we had some extra money to help a young man going into, I believe it was medical school. We sponsor a Leo's Club. A Leo's Club is like a small Lions Club for kids in the middle school and in the high school. And these guys do terrific projects. Carial is the sponsor, and she's also a member of our Lions Club. And these guys do things like make sandwiches to take to shelters, and they provide toiletry kits that they build. They use, sometimes they'll use the eyeglass cases that we have. We have extra eyeglass cases. They'll put all kinds of toiletries and stuff like that and drop them off at the shelters. And they also hand out meals for folks in need around the time of the holidays. We sponsor a community Halloween party. We didn't get to do that this year
Or last year.
or the year before because of COVID, but that's been an ongoing Halloween party since back in
50s.
probably the early 50s. And it's kind of funny because you'll talk to people that are adults in our Lions Club, and as kids, they attended the Halloween party, which takes place up at St. Mary's in the pavilion. It's kind of a pretty exciting time for the kids up there. We have a pretty good party. As we mentioned, we support youth groups. We donate toys through WUMCO during the holiday season, and we help distribute them. And also we support Lions Camp Merrick. Camp Merrick's a beautiful camp that's down in Nanjemoy, which is in Charles County, Maryland, and it's right along the shores of the Potomac. And we've been supporting, and some of our members have gone down to do some actual repair work to the camp. The campers are kids ages 6 through 16, and all these kids that attend usually have a vision or hearing impairment, or they have difficulty with diabetes. And the camp also, when there aren't campers there, they do activities for organizations where they have leadership building stuff. And so it's a pretty busy place, and we're proud to support that. Next, please.
Hold on, just one moment, please.
We're not advancing.
Roger,
Yes?
my wife attended the Poolsville or the Halloween parties when she was growing up,
Wow.
and she has a lot of good memories about that. It is a hectic evening with the donuts and the candy and whatnot and the tug of war, but it's all fun.
We're missing a slide.
Mhm.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Yep.
Nope,
Hold on.
that's the same one. Okay, here's other service projects. As I mentioned, we provide financial support to WUMCO, and
Sorry.
okay, we provide financial support to WUMCO and sometimes other nonprofit organizations. The holiday of food baskets to needy families. We do this around Thanksgiving and also around Christmas time. And this is something that most, if not all, the Lions enjoy doing. It's a really nice thing to do for folks, just to get out in the community to deliver food baskets, which usually includes a turkey and a full meal, and to talk to people. And folks are just so grateful for this. It's really, you have to experience it. It's really very sobering. Makes you appreciate what you have, I'll tell you that. once again, Halloween parties on this slide too. We must really like the Halloween party. Anyway, we sponsor a paper shredding drive as well. We just started doing this. And this is behind the Episcopal Church in Poolsville. And keep an eye on the Facebook page. We'll advertise when we do that. And you can take stuff that needs to be shredded. Right now, we've adopted a road as you come into Poolsville on 107, out near Milt Andrews. I think Milt's here on that.
Mhm.
It's out near Milt's farm and all the way to the Poolsville line. We've adopted the road on 107. It's probably a mile or so, and we go out 4 times a year and we pick up trash and stuff on the side of the road. We find enough stuff, basically car parts, that we could probably build a car. It's amazing what people throw out there, but we do this to try to keep the road safe, and also because the county doesn't do it anymore. And we decided to pick that up within the last couple of years, and we've been doing that with the help of the Leos, and sometimes just volunteers. Folks will come out and help us.
And we help the town of Barnesville too.
Yeah.
We're doing that now too. We've gotten so good at the one they asked us to do.
We're expanding.
Yeah. We as was mentioned, we sponsor a local blood drive, and this has been 4 times a year now with the Red Cross. And we've financially supported the Upper Montgomery County Fire Department. This year we gave them $500 so that they could buy some more protective equipment.
Yeah, for COVID.
COVID.
Yeah, we were able to get a grant to do that and support the first responders.
So now Heidi's going to tell you about the fundraisers that we do. We've kind of put the cart before the horse here. I told you about the activities. The fundraisers support the activities, and Heidi's going to tell you about the fundraisers.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. So I'm Heidi Roswell Brunholz, for those of you who don't know me. And on a personal note, I've been around Poolsville for quite a long time, but I wasn't involved in Lions. But I can't tell you how many people I meet who will say, oh, my father was a Lion. And it's a fun thing to connect the club with somebody who has a memory of a family member who served and becomes interested in serving or participating in an activity because of a family member who was a Lion. And growing up around Poolsville, I had friends, as I mentioned, whose father were Lions. And then when Roger became a Lion, I was still, volunteering and going to the events that he was working with until he finally said, well, why don't you become a member? And I said, well, I guess I may as well, since I'm, volunteering anyway, I may as well be a member. And it is a special moment when you're inducted into Lions and take on the responsibility formally. I know many of you serve the community in a lot of different ways, but formally joining Lions Club is a really great feeling. And I'll talk a little bit about membership at the end of my presentation. So to connect the dots, almost everything we do is to support the club's ability to give back to the community in the ways that Tom and Roger have discussed. And here are a couple of examples of our major fundraisers that many of you will be familiar with. The annual golf tournament is a very popular event sponsored by the Lions Club, and Billy Jameson has been making sure that event happens in a big way for many years. It's been hosted by golf clubs around the area, most recently Brenton Woods. We're not sure right now where our next tournament will be held, but it is held almost every year in October. Sometimes it's late September, but between September and October, I would encourage folks to, if you are a golfer or know someone who is, to look for announcements about the golf tournament. It's one of our major fundraisers. And as many nonprofit and volunteer organizations have experienced in the last 2 years, all of the fundraisers that were, face-to-face or hands-on or hand-to-hand were postponed or canceled. And, we will be making up for lost time with the events in the coming months, we hope, and fingers crossed. So we were able to have the golf tournament in October earlier this year. No, wait, what year are we in? Last year. And likewise, the Poolsville 5K race is a big fundraiser for us. We execute the 5K race in coordination with the Poolsville Area Chamber of Commerce. And it's a real fun morning for us. We manage the race with the running company. We register almost all local people. We had almost 300 runners this year, and it was nice to see everybody back out in the open together, because the year before that we couldn't have the event. So one of my favorites is the fundraiser at the county fair, and in the dairy barn on the week of the fair, you'll find lions from all around the area serving ice cream. And Monocacy often takes Friday night, which is the last night of the fair, and it's a lot of work. For those of you who've never scooped ice cream for a long period of time, I can tell you it's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun because fairs are fun places, and people are coming in for ice cream on very, very hot evenings or rainy evenings, doesn't matter what. And it's fun to be behind the bar, in the dairy bar, I should say, in a historic building at the Montgomery County Agricultural Fair. So proceeds raised on the nights that we're there get divided up into the local Lions clubs, and is a major fundraiser for us. The car raffle is something that we haven't had in a little while, but it is something that we try to advertise in a big way at our booth on Poolsville Day. You may have seen our booth with friendly Lions faces handing out raffle tickets. Tom Conlon is an expert at this. He will get a raffle ticket in your hand if you're walking by the Lions Club booth.
Money out of your pocket.
And that raises a lot of money for the area clubs. Our auction is well known in the area. For many, many years, it was an annual event at St. Mary's Pavilion, an in-person auction where members of the community could get together with their favorite lion, and everybody brought as much as possible from their homes and basements to auction off with the famous auctioneer William Price as host. Lots of fun. However, with COVID, we had to pivot, and we did a online auction that was a first for us. And we are grateful and thankful to community businesses and vendors who contributed to our auction. That was an interesting experience for us, and successful in place of our regular in-person auction. Without William, it wasn't quite the same, but we did meet our goals financially, and were able to support many of our commitments, made it worth it. So let's see, what else do we have? So I'd like to talk a little bit about fellowship, because in all of our activities, whether it's putting the food baskets together as a group, or volunteering at the 5K race to make sure everything runs smoothly, Lions is also about fellowship and being part of a team and getting together with the team, or with the club on a regular basis. And So the nuts and bolts of the primary fellowship opportunities are meetings. Prior to the pandemic, we had meetings on the second and fourth Monday of each month. And right now we are continuing to have meetings the fourth Monday of each month. For about a year and a half now, I think we've been having meetings by Zoom like everybody else. But we found that even the Zoom meetings can encourage partners, fellowship rather, and help people stay connected. We try hard to have speakers of interest at our meeting, which also includes a dinner. The speakers are chosen usually for a connection to the community, so they can broaden our understanding of community needs and also all of the really cool stuff that people are doing to make our community a better place in some way. So we like to partner with other groups or individuals that are working hard, or groups or individuals who've been around for a long time that we feel deserve some recognition for their contributions. So we work hard to have speakers who can, really talk a little bit about how they give back, or a little support that they might need to give back better. Our Charter Night celebration is a celebration of our founding. As Tom said, we've been around for 82 years. We missed our 80th charter celebration, as many of us missed milestone anniversaries or birthdays, but we're making up for it this year. The holiday party is another example of getting together with fellow Lions to celebrate the season, and that's normally held at St. Mary's Pavilion. We have a club picnic. For many years we've had that down at White's Ferry. And again, something that was postponed for a summer or two, but now that's back in gear, and a fun place to come on a summer afternoon. Each year we have a crab feast, which almost always, I can't think of one crab feast that has the best tasting crabs around. And that crab feast is held with, I'm going to need help with this, the Thermont, Frederick, is Dick on the call? He's probably not on the call. Where we have the crab feast.
Is that the American Legion in Frederick?
It's the
Elks Lodge up in. We used to pick up the crabs and have the crab feast up at St. Mary's, but there was a lot of labor, and sometimes we didn't get the numbers right, and we'd end up taking like a bushel of crabs to the fire department and see if those guys wanted it. So Dick Franklin came up with a better idea. He said, "Why don't you guys we'll come up to the Elks Lodge?" And so about the second or third week in October every year, we go up for crabs, and that's a good time of year to have them. They're pretty good.
Yeah, and it's well attended by the Lions members and their families, and as I mentioned, great crabs, which makes it worth the drive up to Frederick. So I'm not quite done yet, as usual. I have a few more things to say. I wanted to talk about moving into the future. So in terms of members, we are really interested in talking to anyone who might have an interest in joining Lions, or learning more about Lions Club, or volunteering. If you feel that you might not be able to donate or fill your schedule with any more activities, but you'd like to volunteer in some way. So we want to do more, and we want to do different, and the way that we get to do those things is by talking to members of the community who have ideas and a little bit of support to get things done. And we welcome anyone to talk and learn more and move forward. So I'm always excited to think about what activities we can do in the future, or how we can make the activities we do now even better, so that we can make our donations and our fundraisers go further. So let's see, I'm looking at my notes here. I think we're just about done. I guess that's it. So questions?
Feel free to either unmute or put your questions in the chat. And I'm also going to put in the chat for everyone the link to the Monocacy Lions Facebook page, as well as their website, if you want to follow them and see as they update with more information about their events.
I can mention that Dick Franklin, who many of you know, is our membership chair right now. So if you'd like to chat with him, but any of us can answer questions, and we welcome them and welcome you to learn more about Lions.
So I want to first say, Tom and Heidi and Roger, like, I found this fascinating. Like, I've known you guys, I've always heard about the Monocacy Lions, but I really wasn't sure exactly everything that you did. And, I think it just is a great organization. And I feel like people that have time, I would love to join, but I am stretched beyond my limit right now. So maybe in the future. But, I would also like to talk with you guys about jointly doing something at some point. So Heidi, you and I will talk about that. I also want to commend your support for the Leo's Club. The Leo's Club has helped Poolsville seniors on several occasions. They've helped decorate for our gala. They've helped scrape tape off the pickleball floor for us to retape that. So, us pickleball players, we appreciate that because we know how hard that is. So, it's really nice to hear that you all are so supportive of them, because that's a great group of kids.
It's a great program, and Kari Al, a
Yes.
big shout out to Kari. She's a Lion, and she does so many creative and meaningful things with those students. We have them to a club meeting once a year to hear what they're up to, and not so long ago we just heard amazing things from those students, and it's inspiring for us to give back to student leaders and encourage that type of mindset among those kids. I can mention that there are different types of membership. There's a regular membership and a family membership and a student membership. So there's a couple of different levels we can talk about offline for anyone who is interested.
Oh, I also want to mention, if any of you all that are on here have not been to the Lions Club auction, you have got to go for the experience. It is so much fun. It's I have bought stuff that when you all open up again, I'm going to bring back to auction off again, but because you get so wrapped up in the fun of it. It's just a fun, and you all have dinners, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Have dinner, and the auction it's a wonderful social event, as well as raising money for you guys. So I would encourage anybody, once you all are able to do that again, to just go for a night out. I mean, it's so much fun. It's close to home. You spend a few dollars to support, you come home with something, and then
you wonder what it is.
You can donate it back, Yeah, exactly. But you've got a big mixture of things to auction off, and it really is a fun night. So I would encourage everybody to go to that when you're able to do that again.
It used to start out, the process would start out with, as we got closer to auction time, Bill Jameson would stand up and say, "Lions, go home and check through your treasures."
Right. And you can find some treasures sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Look in your garage and attic and find your treasures and bring your treasures. And yeah, there's a lot of funny things.
Yeah, it's a
It was
wonderful
fun.
time. It really is a fun evening out close to home.
And William Price really missed his calling. He's a pretty good auctioneer.
he's a riot.
Yeah, yeah.
He will talk you into things that you didn't think you could be talked into.
That's why I have stuff to donate back. But it's a
Thanks.
lot of fun. It's a great social event, a great fundraiser.
Good. We'll try to advertise it when it gets around to coming
Yeah.
back.
Well, we can always post it on our postscript of things going on in the community. So we're
Oh,
happy to
good.
do that.
Oh,
You know, when things come up for you guys,
thank you.
we're happy to advertise that too.
Thank you.
Any other questions that we can answer or other comments or things to discuss?
Thank you guys for having us. You know, this,
Yes.
I wanted to say thank you, and I'm really, congratulations on your auction. I think Poolsville Seniors doesn't really speak to the energy behind just the title Poolsville Seniors. You guys are amazing. You guys work really hard. What a great organization. That auction was really something. It was like our auction, but it was on steroids. It was pretty neat.
Well, we really enjoyed having you guys tonight as well. And I think that this was a great way to kick off sharing about some of the other local organizations. I mean, I was same as Melissa. I've heard of Monocacy Lions Club my whole life and seen them sponsor different events, but I didn't know the true scope of it. And it's really cool what you guys do for the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
So I hope you all enjoyed tonight's presentation as much as I did and learned something new. If you think of any questions later, as always, you can email them to info@poolsvilleseniors.org and we can pass them on for you. If you'd like to unmute or turn on your camera now to say goodbye, now's the time. And if you're joining us on Facebook Live, please leave a like and comment. We'd like to thank Tom, Heidi, and Roger for this presentation, as well as our ongoing sponsors and private contributors that help us keep our programs going, because we love putting them on for you. Tonight's featured Platinum Plus sponsor is the R. Edwin and Winsome S. Brown Foundation. If you enjoyed tonight's program, please consider joining us for more upcoming events. We'll be back this time next week with small engine repairs. And as always, you can go to our website, poolsvilleseniors.org, for more info and registration for all of our events. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you for having us.
thanks, guys.